Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dais, a podcast about the stories taking place in and around El Paso County, Colorado. I'm your host, Scott Anderson, and today I am joined by Angela Greene, a local business owner and board member of the Citizen Outreach Group. How are you doing today, Angela?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for making the time to be here today. I really appreciate it. I got quite a few things that I'm excited to talk about, so we'll get into that conversation here in just a second. But before we get there, I wanted to add that if listeners are interested in more stories about people doing good in and around El Paso County, or hearing from county leadership about local government priorities and how they operate, you can find additional episodes of this podcast on your podcast platform of choice. To get started today, though, Angela, I was wondering if you could start by sharing a little bit of background about yourself.
Thank you, Scott, and thanks for having me. And hi, everybody in El Paso County, Colorado. I am how do I say that? I'm a mom of three, a 40-year military dependent, retired spouse. And now I'm an active real estate agent. And I have done that for about 8 years. I've lived in 24 homes, so I love helping clients and continuing to serve my local community just like we did in the military. So,
very cool. So what has life like a real estate agent been like in the last few years? I know that you said 8 years is how long?
Yeah, about 8 years.
Yeah. What are the ups and downs you've seen in the last 8 years? Because I think the economy has played a pretty interesting role in the real estate market the last 8 years. What does that look like from your perspective?
It definitely, so when I started out, it started out on an uptick, the 2017 was going pretty good. And then, and that was when I was licensed originally, and then just kind of kept going really well. And then during COVID, we hit a high for a couple years where interest rates were crazy low, and there was the frenzy and the escalation clauses and the multiple offers and things selling in 3 to 4 hours. And so now we saw in the last 2 years, I would say we saw a huge increase in interest rates and more of a plateau or even a nosedive at one point of the economy and the real estate market. And it's been an interesting, I wouldn't even call it steady. It's very hit and miss right now for a lot of us. A lot of people are leaving the industry, which is interesting. And then we went from 2.25% interest rates to 8%.
Right.
And now we're back down to around 5 and 6, depending on what type of lending you're getting. So that's helping. The pricing on homes hasn't quite adjusted properly for that. One thing I like to mention to people, especially if they're considering selling their house, is that the people who qualified for a $500,000 house 4 years ago would have to have a $40,000 raise to afford that same price today.
Wow.
So if that puts it in perspective for people, in trying to find that home. And now we're seeing homes staying on the market 30, 60, 90, 180 or longer days.
Yeah.
And so what I advise people to do is right house, right price in the right neighborhood. And you're not just seeing things flying off the shelf that need a complete renovation. There might be things that need to be done to the home to get it to sell, and being realistic with pricing.
Yeah. No, those are good tips to know. Fortunately, unfortunately, maybe, I don't know. I'm not currently in the market for a home. We actually bought our home in 2019, and it turned out to be a pretty good time.
Decent
to
time.
buy.
Yep.
And I feel like it's more we've gotten lucky, really, more than we're really savvy about it and pick the right time. It's more just got lucky. We moved out here for a job in 2019, just so happened to need a house at that point. So. But no, it's been really great, and something that I think is important to be able to keep track of. I mean, we had the Fed's lower interest rates here just recently,
yes.
And I know that's a part of it. So just keeping track of all that stuff is something that I think is just maybe an important practice for people in general. Maybe not necessarily in the housing market per se, but just something to keep an eye on in general.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you are watching anything, if you're watching the stock market and the real estate market, they're all indicators of our economy. And the thing that people may not think about is that when we are having struggles in our real estate economy, we're having struggles in other areas. Because for me, I work with 6 to 10 different vendors on any given transaction. So that's title, lending, home inspectors, roofers, all these different vendors that if our real estate market isn't doing well, then they're not doing well either. Carpet cleaners, just different people, small businesses. And I'm passionate about like promoting and local and small businesses in our area because we're all trying to make a living, right? Yeah. And so when the economy and even the real estate market is struggling, all of those people are struggling too. And it might impact the economy as well.
Right. It makes sense. So in the introduction, I mentioned that you're a board member for the Citizen Outreach Group. Can you talk to me about what the Citizen Outreach Group is and how you became involved with it?
So the Citizen Outreach Group is a kind of an ambassador program between the El Paso County Commissioners and the local citizens, and helping the citizens understand what our local county does for them and the services they provide for them. As a military spouse, I have a servant's heart. That's just something that's a part of me. And so when we retired in 2016, I immediately wanted to get plugged into my local new home, right? I've lived everywhere, but how do I continue to serve? Because it's just part of who we are. And I immediately got involved in local politics. I'm a precinct leader, a delegate at the state, county, and congressional levels. So I attend the assemblies and I help put candidates on the ballot for your voting. So I got involved with that in the local area. And I was expressing some frustrations to a board member who was also my division leader, Rubel Henderson. He's also a member on the COG. And he was just, Angie, I think you would really feel that you were serving better or you would feel like you were being more effective if you were maybe on a board in our local county and doing things that are actually kind of connecting people with what's going on in our county and educating people and informing people what's going on.
Yeah. So how long have you been a member of the board?
I've only been a member since June, I believe. Okay. I have been a delegate and a precinct leader for about 4 years, just during COVID, 3 to 4 years. And so, this group is a great group of the whole purpose is to help people understand, like, what is the difference between your county, your state, and your congressional, the responsibilities. And when you're coming in from the military, what is the difference? We've always seen the big picture, but this is more the micro picture of your local government and what's going on in your town now.
Right. Right. So in those few months that you've been on there, what are some of the learnings you've had? Some of the things that maybe you didn't realize that you've been able to learn? And what have you come to know the COG to be in terms of how it benefits the community?
So I really think that the COG is a great opportunity for people to have a better understanding of what's going on. There's a lot of information in our world today, and a lot of it, what I see is people, things are piecemealed. You get a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there. But the one thing about the COG is to help inform the citizens so that they know, these are the departments and this is what they do for us, and this is where our money goes. These are questions that need to be asked, and I think it's beneficial for the citizens to know where they can go and how things operate in reality, what's actually going on, and not just hearsay. Some of the things that I've learned as I've been on the Citizens Outreach Group is just the behind the scenes things that take place in El Paso County, the people who are working, the things that they're doing behind the scenes, helping to educate their passions and what's actually going on. The different... I didn't even know you existed. Communications department.
Hey, few people do, so it's totally fine.
But what do you do, and what is your passion? And then, we help put on the town hall meetings for the county commissioners, and then we try to help promote that and get that out to the people in the county so they'll attend those. And then now we're doing the citizen college to help further educate people on the different departments within our county, and then getting to know the different commissioners that attend our COG groups. And we meet the third Mondays of every month. And so we haven't had a whole lot of meetings, but then because we have the Citizen College going on, we've been having that meeting once a week. So just, and we're all volunteers on the board. Yeah. So we're not, we're working along and representing ambassadors with the commissioners in our county.
Yeah. So you've brought up Citizen College a couple times. I wanted to get to that. It's one of the I would say, marquee events that the COG hosts. What is Citizen College exactly, and why is it something that residents should be interested in?
So there's a mission with them, and their mission is to have a program to better connect the citizens to the services and the major functions of El Paso County. So what we do is October 21st to the 26th, we have a session each night where we are representing a different department within the county. And it's an opportunity to come and learn from that department, tour it, and then ask questions in a Q&A. And you also get to meet some of your elected officials in those departments.
So as I understand it, there are going to be 6 different sessions involved with Citizen College. What are those sessions exactly, and what can people expect to experience when they go to those?
Oh, that's a great question, because I think some of these sessions are going to be super fun. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to learning about that kind of stuff. So, as a homeschool mom, we like to educate our kids on the civics of the world around us, and so in our government. Session 1 on Monday is going to be just your local county government and just learning kind of an overall view of the county government. Session 2 is going to be the public works and emergency management area. Session 3 is going to be, it's based in the Citizen Center, Public Health, Department of Human Services, and Pikes Peak Workforce. And it also includes, which, some people don't know that includes our county assessor and our treasurer. Mm-hmm. So these are really big topics right now with the upcoming election. And then session 4 is at our courthouse, and it's the 4th Judicial District and how our court system and our jury systems work. And the fifth session is our county jail and morgue. And so that's public safety and criminal justice. And then the 6th session will be Parks and Recreation. That's Saturday, and it's supposed to be a fun just day event of things. So each session is going to be a introduction to the people who are managing those departments, then a tour and or Q&A. Mm-hmm. So depending on how the session managers arrange it, but we will be, touring where the ballots are coming in for the election coming up. We'll be touring the county jail. So those are, and then, I don't know how each session, each person has them arranged. It's up to us as the managers. And I'm managing the Citizen Center. So I'm excited about that one because I'm kind of, again, nerding out on the tax assessor stuff. A year ago, we had this huge tax assessment situation. And, I had clients calling me, asking me, can you run my numbers on my house? And my taxes are through the roof. So you can come in and learn where is our money going and what's happening with that, or why did you guys do it? Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with the ballots and the elections. How's that handled? How does that come in? How does it go out? How are they? Of course, we've had a lot of concerns about over the last few years. So come see what's really happening.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like the public works and the jail. What are those inmates doing, and what's their life like in El Paso County? So I think it's a very educational opportunity for people to see what's going on in our community.
Yeah. Is this something where when you sign up or you register, you are signing up for all 6, or can you do just one of the sessions? How does that operate?
Yes, you can do all. You can do 1, you can do 3. In the past, and we've tried to figure out how we're going to do this, like a certificate. If you finish so many classes, you actually kind of have a graduation certificate as a educated citizen college graduate. Mm-hmm. And then I think it is a great opportunity for people to open up their eyes to see, I really have an interest more to help in this area or that area. But yeah, you can choose which ones you want to attend. And because of the time, there might be some refreshments during the evenings as well with some of the, we've tried to recruit some local business owners to sponsor some of those nights because of the time frame. It's from 5:30 to 8:30, so it's right in the middle of dinner or whatever.
Yeah. So if people are interested in registering, how can they do that? And are there any specific requirements for signing up, or if you want to do it, you can do it?
The big thing is that some of the sessions do require 18-year-olds. Probably the jail tours will require those. And yeah, you can go to www.elpasoco.com/citizen-college. So again, www.elpaso, elpasoco.com/citizen-college. And you can register for individual sessions or all of them.
Very good. And you'll also, as I understand, you'll be able to get a pretty good overview of each of the sessions, what you can expect from those, and sort of the mission of Citizen College in general when they go to that website.
Yes, it's a really great informative location on the website that breaks down each session and kind of gives a brief description. So yeah, it's super easy to find that and just find out what you're going to get into that evening.
Awesome. Well, before we end the conversation here, I did want to give you an opportunity to add anything else you think would be important for listeners to know.
I think just as I have literally traveled the world and lived all over the world, I think that this is a great opportunity to inform ourselves and also know how that we can continue to be active citizens in our communities and know what's going on. And so I have been involved for quite some time in local politics, and I'm always interested by the people who like to express their opinions or interests in things, but don't know the full story. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's important for us to try to learn as much as we can and have it be informed and educated before we start down a road of anything that could be negative. So this is an opportunity to stay positive, stay informed as a citizen, and find out where you really can help, and then what's really going on in our community, and just work alongside our local elected officials and citizens and getting involved. And the more we get involved, the better we can help and get to know others too as well. And it's a great opportunity to meet some great people.
Very good. Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate you taking the time today and for all that you do here in El Paso County. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
You bet. If you are interested in listening to additional episodes of Beyond the Dais, be sure to look for us on Podbean or wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.